very nice, crunchy walking day. Oh, oh. Don't know if you can hear that on the camera, but that's the ice breaking beneath my feet. I just gently but slowly but surely make my way down, as always, to the field. But wow. Wow. I'd say we didn't see that coming, but wow, some of us saw that coming a mile away. Good morning to Jen. Good morning to you. Welcome to what is a very, very snowy morning. We had some snow yesterday, but unfortunately we've had no snow since then, and I think that it's probably going to melt after that. Oh, there we go. Good morning, Rockmarsh. Good morning. Ooh, from Grimsby. Good morning to you. Hey up. A very lovely, snowy morning. Oh, indeed. Again, I don't know if you can hear. Whoop. Oh, good afternoon to you from there. Oh, good morning to you as well. Like I say, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Joining us. You're still nice and warm in your bed, can't blame you. How about, thank goodness 2020 is over? Well, what were we, 6 days in? And an attempted coup in America. Because I think, and don't worry, there has been stuff happening with Brexit this week, but as always, you'll know, we've been talking about America on a lot of these mornings. We've been saying, there goes America correcting its mistake it made in 2016, maybe there's hope for us yet. And I think to a lot of people, I really do think, oh wow, I don't know if you can see that on camera, but the steam coming off the river, I don't know if you can see it. But I'll tell you what, there's a lot of people who, since Wednesday, have been absolutely vindicated about what they've been saying about Trump, about what they've been saying about his movement for the past, since he began this whole thing. And it's difficult to think where to start talking about this, but I think you really have to go all the way back to 2012, where a couple of brothers, you may or not have heard of them, called the Koch brothers, decided to start this AstroTurf movement called the Tea Party Group. And the Tea Party Group was, originally it was meant to be about taxes, lowering taxes on the rich, even though many of the people who were campaigning for that weren't even in that class that were going to get taxed at themselves. And then after that, they lost control of it. It may have been something that they created, but this got just absolutely taken away from them very, very quickly. It's unbelievable. And this is now, and it's what became the Trump movement. What the Tea Party started to lose steam. It really did. After it's, and that, the Tea Party brewed its own Tea Party brewing. Tea Party brewed its own type of, nonsense and nutcases. You've only got to look back at Michelle Bachmann. She was absolutely insane. There was a congresswoman who had to come out with a political advert and say that she wasn't a witch. Oh, good morning to, who's that? Good morning to, I can't see that, Bradley Farm, I think that was, from Brazil. Not from Brazil, is it Australia or Austria? I can't see it, sorry. Just the sun's in a bit away of the screen, so just having a bit of difficulty reading the chat. Good morning to other people there. Good morning to you. Some people from Berlin, someone from Germany as well. Good morning to you. Good morning to everyone joining us in this, well, I think quite, as you can see, quite lovely winter morning. But as you can see, it's not going to last long, I think. But it's so nice to get out when it's like this. I'd have preferred it to be, fresh. I was hoping it might snow again during the night and put down a fresh layer, but unfortunately not to be. Unfortunately not to be. So, back to where we were. So, with the Tea Party movement losing steam, along comes Trump. And essentially gives it a shot in the arm. That's the best way to put it, really. And not only that, but he indulges the worst of the movement. And some doggos. So he absolutely went and indulged the worst of the movement. I mean, this was a guy who, when he was, running for the candidate position, very quickly decide to, do an interview with Alex Jones. And throughout all the Trump presidency, you've seen the GOP go hardcore and indulge these people and indulge in their, fantasies and delusions, because they are so terrified that Trump has taken over the party. I mean, it all started when Trump literally mowed down every single person that was expected to win. He, annihilated George Bush's brother, Jeb Bush. He got rid of, Marco Rubio. It was a bloodbath. But there we were, all the way back in, 2015, 2016, watching all that. And little did we know what it would lead to. And, as I've said, there are going to be a lot of people this week on YouTube who have been warning about Trump, warning about the movements that he's inspiring and that are, being, propped up almost by him practically. And there's going to be a lot of people saying, we've been telling you about them and you've ignored us, or you just haven't straight up listened. And of course, this, obviously my time frame, on Wednesday night, when it popped up on my notifications, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but it was just absolutely shocking to see. You were like, oh, Trump supporters have stormed the Capitol building. Oh. Oh, someone's just given a super chat. Sorry, I can't see. Grab a brew on me. Looks like you need it. Yeah, I do. I do indeed. Thank you very much for that. Oh, hang on. FSO. Thank you very much for that. I will definitely go get myself a brew. Don't worry. Once again, I keep on saying to myself I need to do it, but I need to go buy some fingerless gloves because my hands are freezing cold. So it really was shocking. I didn't know what to think of it, and I don't know anyone else out there what was going to, happen. But I'll tell you what, after I jumped in on some of the people live streaming this, not live streaming themselves, but people, live watching the live stream themselves. So, I was switching between the Surfs, Hannah Reloaded, and Vosh, Vosh, whatever, Vosh. Just watching, them and what they were covering. And I have to say, absolute kudos, the absolute brass balls on a guy called Dylan, was it Dylan V or Dylan TV, who went down to those protests in a Biden Kamala Harris hoodie and interviewed and just captured some of the stuff that went on there. Absolute crazy mad respect to that boy. Holy boy, has he got some brass balls, because I'll tell you now, even if I lived in DC, and that was one of the things that, I did, going out, and just going down to protest and just live streaming it or covering it, kudos to him for doing that. Absolute kudos to him for doing that. Because he caught some incredible footage. And not only that, but you had Trump people themselves live streaming. And some of the craziness that was coming out of their mouths. And I think it just sums up what happens at the end of it all. What was it? Was it 4 or 5 people dead? At the end of it all? Oh. I don't know if I can see the Dalmatians. Oh, missed them. Missed them. Yeah, 5 dead. The woman that was shot, essentially, she rushed the chamber where all the senators at the time were lying on the floor wearing gas masks, and the Secret Service was barricading the entrances and exits. And obviously, she decided to rush one of the doors, and she got shot. The rest of them, I'm not 100% sure what happened to them, because she's been really the only one that's been really reported on. I have heard rumours that there was a Trump supporter who tased himself and then died of a heart attack. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I heard in one of the live streams, so I'm sure someone will correct me if that's wrong or not, but oh boy. Absolute sheer madness of it all. Sheer, complete and utter madness. And I haven't watched his video on it, but I think I might later. Phil of A Different Bias made a video on, could those riots happen here? And I'll have to go back and watch the video, but my answer is yes. Yes, those types of riots could happen here and have happened here. You may remember the was it the 2012 riots down in London, and then broke out in Manchester, Bradford, in a lot of big cities around the UK at that time. And you wonder why in so many Brexit reports about, Brexit preparedness, they're saying that they're preparing for riots. So it just boggles belief of what's happened, because, as I said, there's a lot of people out there who are going to be absolutely vindicated, who have been really closely following all these, well, I don't know what you call them, MAGA lunatics, who have been really, since the election, have been in absolute breakdown mode, and have been caring not only themselves but being emboldened by Donald Trump that the election was stolen from them. And that's not going to go away. That's not going to go away anytime soon. That really is the worrying part to all this, A lot of people have said that this, well, let's call it what it is, it's an attempted coup by essentially domestic terrorists. That was, the end of it all. That's it. That draws an end to all this madness. I'm in the other camp that says, unfortunately, I think that was just the start of the beginning. I really do. And I worry about what could happen in America for the next 4 years. I really do. You might get a normal Biden presidency, but you're going to have to deal with all those, those Trump people who, in a bizarre way, might end up helping you, because obviously on that same day you had that absolute madness going on in Washington, but Georgia, what an absolute amazing state, and what an absolute pull-off the people in Georgia pulled off. Not only did they manage to succeed in turning a red state blue, but they also went and won both of the Senate seats. Because, and this is something we need to go and look at ourselves from a UK perspective, of when we go and in a couple of years' time, not only just for the upcoming May elections, but also the next general election, we need to go out and we need to prepare very similar campaigns to what they've done in Georgia. And we need to go out and build that groundwork so that we can ourselves oust our absolute omnishambles of a party that is currently in charge of this country. So definitely a lot of lessons, not only just for the rest of America, but for us over here as well, have shown that we can very, very clearly make a lot of political upsets. We just have to be willing to be brave, willing to be bold about it. And I do hope that we take that message on from Georgia, because I think that's what comes out from all this mess. That people can and will make a difference when it comes to elections, and that we can do it. So yeah, it might have been really shocking on Wednesday to see all that going on. But there was some good news about Georgia, and I think that's the good thing we have to take away. So I can finally actually start reading the chat now. Sorry if you've what's that? Graham Hughes had some very interesting suggestions on his live stream yesterday. Yeah, those people are allowed to purchase assault weapons in Walmart. Yeah. Imagine being able to nip down to Asda and buy an assault weapon. That boggles my mind. I don't understand the gun love, the gun culture in America, but I don't see it and I don't get it. You know, it's absolutely crazy. True, I'm not a Yank. That's probably why I don't get it. But even then, I don't think I'd understand it all that much. Oh, helicopter. So yeah, and that's another thing as well. A lot of people said how many, those MAGA people were out there with assault weapons, with guns. And it just makes you think how very quickly that could have escalated. Things could have gone from, well, they were bad. Let's not get things, wrong, of course, but they could have gone even worse. They could have gone from bad to worse in 60 seconds had some Trump supporter decided to pull his weapon and start, should we say, returning fire onto the police and even the Secret Service. That could have gone, you think of what could have happened, and it just gets more bizarre and terrifying as it goes along. Because one of the other things that they found, in fact, two of the things they found, some of the protesters had brought zip ties. From what we could tell, I don't know if you can go around there. Can I go around? I don't know. Go around this way. But what we can tell, they were intending to take prisoners, hostages, Could you imagine if they'd actually got into the Senate chamber with all those senators? I'm generally I'm lost for words, because so very quickly that could have gone in so many different ways. I think we're so lucky that they got there and didn't know what to do when they got there. And in fact, we actually have to applaud the Senate secretaries, because as we saw from some of the video footage from the Capitol, they had to leave in such a hurry. They had to leave all their papers, their computers on, everything on. But luckily, some Senate secretaries, and who knows what could have happened if the rioters had found these. But the electoral college votes in the boxes were being brought in. And could you imagine if the Well, if the rioters had found those boxes, you know, the more you think about this, the more deadly and bizarre the scenarios come. It really is. And yeah, they believe the army would join them. They believe the cops would join them as well. You know, they were asking the police, even on some of the live streams that a lot of people I were watching, you had a lot of them saying, you know, you should be on our side, you should be joining us. Yes, they did find pipe bombs. They found 2 pipe bombs, actually. And yeah, it's like I say, it could have gone from bad to worse very quickly. Very, very quickly. And you got to think about what could have been the consequences of that. Doesn't bear thinking about, really. It really doesn't bear thinking about. And of course we had the man himself essentially go to Twitter and tell people to go home, but the election was still stolen from him, but they were all very special, but go home. What an absolutely fantastic masterclass there, and a perfect example of doublespeak. And I'm so glad, in fact, I'm so glad now that a lot of social media groups are now starting to pay attention, because Twitter basically came out and said, hey, we're going to block your tweets that you just made because those are inciting violence. And it was absolutely fantastic for Twitter to actually finally start doing that. I mean, they originally had done a couple of months ago about, you know, about fact-checking some of Trump's tweets, but, you know, talk about too little too late. And I think the question will have to be asked of Twitter, why did you never act sooner? And of course, we wake up this morning to find that Trump has apparently been now banned from Twitter. And not only that, but of course, as you know, a lot of these Trump and MAGA supporters literally can't help themselves when they're on these public platforms and spout all sorts of, you know, rhetoric, dangerous rhetoric, racist rhetoric to but a few. I mean, if you saw the Bean Dad that was trending on Twitter at the start of the week, you know, people dug up his past tweets and he was saying all kinds of, you know, crazy stuff, and it's just like, wow, whoa. You know, why hadn't Twitter taken care of him? And I think that one good thing about this is that the social media companies might actually start to finally take notice and take the threat that these people have represented. And I keep on saying it, but a lot of people are going to be vindicated, because the past 4 years they've followed people like these and have warned people. You know, these people are talking treason. They're radicalizing other people. And I hope that, you know, to a lot of people, I mean, Vosh said this, and I completely 100% agree with him, but a lot of people on the left who are, you know, or, you know, the libertarians or the the centrists who have been saying that, oh, no, 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 you've got to let these people have free speech. By you saying that, it's led to this. And I do hope that they take a lesson from that. I really do. Because that's what all that nonsense for the past 4 years has led to. An attempted coup. And if you don't take stuff like that seriously, this is the end result. You know, what is it? The intolerance paradox. The more you allow intolerant people the right to free speech, the more people they convert to their ideas, the more their ideas get mainstreamed. And then eventually, these people themselves start to censor people who don't like them when they get power. And all it needs is for people to be vigilant. All it needs is for like the social media companies to take these people seriously and recognise that some of these people are genuine threats and that they represent a radicalisation of people who are, you know, this is what it led to. And, you know, I'll keep on saying it. A lot of people were vindicated on Wednesday. It's those people that have been covering those people. If you want a perfect example of someone who's been doing that, go check out the channel Hannah Reloaded. And she's been doing something called Chud Watch. And she's covered all these people. You know, the idea that there wasn't going to be violence at that march is completely ridiculous, because they've been very vocal on their social media platforms that there was going to be violence. Oh, hang on, someone's donated that I haven't seen. Sorry for that. Geo me. Sorry I didn't see that. Yeah. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. I hadn't realised you donated that. I've only just realised that come in. Sorry for missing that super chat. Morning, mate. At least the Trump-Levian aren't lot in Yorkshire. Yes, that is true, my friend. That is true. Sorry for missing that. Like I say, when you're out here and the sun's on the screen, I can't see the comments sometimes. So, holy moly, what a Wednesday that was. But also, the other thing that happened was that Google and Apple have now taken action against Parler. Because when these people were kicked off Twitter, they then fled to what they called their free speech platforms. And Parler was one of the places that these people would flee to and congregate in. And we now know that Parler was one of these places that these people on Wednesday coordinated all that violence with. So Google has now taken Parler off Google. Apple has deleted the app from their website. And all I can say is, what took you so long? What took you so long? You know, again, some of these people who've been covering these MAGA people for the past 4 years, have been warning people, have been warning us about what's been going on Parler. Yeah, Apple and Google, too little, too late. Exactly. And this is really a lesson about democracy itself, because a lot of people on the left, even me sometimes, like to think that democracy can stand and that it'll be all right because we get a vote, every 4 years to exercise our voices. But the problem was you got an entire group of people wanting to turn over a democratic vote of where they had clearly won. And I know someone in the chat is going to be a Brexiteer and say, oh, but the Remainers wanted to overturn our democratic vote. Here's the difference between us and those Trump people that stormed the Capitol, or shall we say domestic terrorists that stormed the Capitol. We wanted to overturn that vote by using democracy. We wanted another vote. There is a massive difference between what the Trump people did and what we've been asking for, and what we will be continuing to ask for to rejoin the European Union. Massive difference. Massive difference. But the fallout from this is going to be interesting, because you've got especially it's different because it's going to affect groups in different ways. You've first of all got the Trump true believers who are absolutely committed to Donald Trump 100% and have been since day one. To them, they are still convinced that, Trump won the election, even though he didn't. They are going to be still around and still supporting Trump in whatever he decides to do next. And unfortunately for those people, it's probably going to involve Trump trying to extract as much money from them as he possibly can to absolutely nobody's surprise. And that's the first group. That group is dangerous. It really is. The next group is, as I think someone said, a lot of people have already decided that Trump isn't for them. Not only do they feel abandoned by Trump because they were expecting him to just, when they took the Capitol Hall and they were there. And what's even more surprising was that there were people in that Senate floor without an open, neo-Nazi tattoos. And some of them have been identified as actual being a part of skinhead organizations. It's absolutely shocking. The more you look into this and these people, the more and more you wonder how in whatever's name did this happen? How was this allowed to happen? Absolutely crazy. But it's I've said it before, but that could have gone that could have gone wrong very quickly, very fast, in so many different ways, so many different ways. And I'm sure in many years' time we'll probably be enjoying reading all the alternative history fan fiction about the dystopian world that caused. But not yet. Maybe in a couple of years' time, but not yet. It's you know, do we have snow? Yes, we do. It's hasn't snowed for a while though, so this might be the last snow of this year we get, for all we know. And we do have, I don't know, unfortunately, I don't know if you'll be able to see them because they've decided to position themselves exactly where the sun is. So I don't know if you'll be able to see them, but there are ponies there. Again, I don't know if you can't see them because they have decided to position themselves exactly right. There's one. Oh yes, Happy New Year to you all as well, by the way, if you haven't seen us since then. But I worry going forward for America and American politics, because one of the things I've said since the beginning, and all this nonsense about, you know, Trump running and, you know, the taboos he's broken, you know, all the political, you know, goodwill, the fact that he's broken so many rules, and the GOP have let him get away with it all, is you have to worry about who comes next. That's the worrying thing. Who comes after Trump? Because, you know, Trump, after that, has proven that he had complete, you know, dictatorship, strongman, fascist tendencies. Luckily, he was absolutely 100%, you know, incompetent about doing that. And, you know, really acting on his best impulses. And I am sure, probably this year, maybe next year, we are going to get interviews from people who are inside his cabinet, who are part of his team. I mean, we've already had some, but we're probably going to get even more stuff come out now, and we are probably going to realise that a lot of these people, Trump may have given an order, and they may have just refused to carry it out. They may have just forgotten to write down that order. And some of those people, some of them, you know, Republicans maybe, but they are really the true silent heroes at this moment. We don't know what crazy stuff Trump might have demanded and asked for over these past 4 years, because they kept it secret, they kept it hidden, and they kept him in the dark about what was going on. And thank goodness for that, you know, thank goodness for that. But yeah, what a crazy time. What a crazy time. And as I said earlier, I do hope the people on social media now start to take some of these people seriously and start to, you know, banhammer some of these people. Because it's all right having free speech, but sometimes there's certain people you've got to watch and monitor. Because otherwise you get stuff like this. Because imagine for a second that the FBI had taken these people on Parler and on the Donald.win seriously about all their, you know, their threats of violence, about how, you know, it was going to be a day for violence and they were going to get violent about it. Imagine if they'd actually taken them seriously and not even allowed them into the capital. Imagine if they just said, right, we've seen these posts, we're worried about this, we're stopping the protests. Sorry, you can't do it. It would have ended right then, right there. You know, none of Wednesday would have happened. And, you know, that's the crazy thing. But then we've got to talk about the GOP. And we've got to talk about the GOP because on Wednesday, it was pretty an innocuous event that was happening really on Wednesday. All it was the Electoral College votes were going to come in and they were going to be counted by the Senate and they were going to be ratified. It's a very boring process, happens all the time. You know, nothing too exciting really, except, you know, the events outside that were to unfold literally in just a matter of hours. What happened, however, was there were, I think, between 11 and maybe, I think it was 11 to 14 Republican senators who decided they were going to back Trump still and indulge not only him, but the people outside's fantasies about what was going on. You know? And they're to blame stuff as well. Because you've not only got them, you've got, you know, people like Tim Pool, who have been egging people on for the past 4 years. You only have to put in, like, on YouTube or Google, Tim Pool Civil War, and you will see videos of Tim Pool, you know, egging on the coming civil war that apparently was coming. And, you know, a lot of there's got to be something done about those people as well, about the, you know, the Tim Pool types who have there we go, nearly lost a welly. Who have you know, egged people on and fueled this ridiculous conspiracy theory, you know, that Trump won the election when he didn't. Oh, something spooked that pony. I don't know what's got that pony riled up there, but that's got him spooked and running about. But yeah, there's got to be something done about those guys. It's, I don't know what you can do, but maybe it'll be the, you know, the social media companies having a private word saying, we've ignored you for the past 4 years, but no, we're watching. That might be it. That might be all that happens, but at least it'll be something. Oh, nearly. And you've not just got, you know, people supporting Trump that are helping to fuel this as well. You've also got to think about this will massively benefit what's been going on with the COVID pandemic, because most of these people have been supporting and egging on Trump and his supporters have also been the ones that are, you know, oh, COVID isn't real. COVID isn't a big deal. What? You know, hopefully they'll learn a lesson. And also, what a super spreader event it was. Apparently, there's a apparently there was a guy there who had tested positive for COVID, and he was there live streaming the event. So a lot of people after that could very well find themselves testing positive for COVID after that event. But what a bizarre event. What a bizarre 24 hours that was. But anyway, getting back to the GOP, because I got off topic there. The GOP themselves do bear responsibility for some of this as well, because as we said, there were, Republican senators indulging the worst aspects of Trump's whole movement on that day as well, shortly before the Capitol got stormed. And there's already been one Democratic senator introduce a bill to say they should be gotten rid of and kicked out. So I agree on that. I doubt if it'll go through though, obviously. But, it's something, at least. But the GOP is going to have a hard, long look at itself. Especially after this. Because Mitch McConnell and Pence both condemned what had gone on. But you're like, hold on guys, you've been encouraging some of this. You've been actively encouraging some of this and said nothing. Or you've had people in your party, actively encouraging what's been going on that's led to this. And you've said nothing. It's time your party took a serious look at itself and thought, what have we been indulging? What have we been doing and saying that's led to all this? And some of them, obviously, this is the worrying thing that a lot of people have been saying is the Republican Party now Trump's party? How much sway and influence is he going to have from then? And even now, how much influence and sway is he going to have? It's very worrying, to be honest. But we'll have a pony. So we've got someone in chat actually had COVID. So yeah, like I say, it's shocking that people don't take this seriously. It's really shocking, but just like I keep on saying it, but a lot of people are going to be vindicated about what they've been saying about these Trump supporters for the past 4 years. Oh, there goes the train as well. So what do we do about all this? Well, luckily I think people, first thing is actually taking it seriously. I think once they start to take it seriously, that's when a lot of these people will stop and go away. But it's worrying times, very worrying times, especially in America. And if you are over there watching in America, good luck and stay safe and have hope. And that really is You know, things have happened about Brexit this week, but yeah, it's we've talked about America all day today. I think it's been well deserved after what happened today. But as always, yeah, things have gone on in Brexit. But you know, and ironically, they also happened on Wednesday as well, when the when the Capitol got stormed. So don't worry, I've already done videos about what happened, about the lawyer that's talked about how the deal is essentially so flimsy it could be just cancelled tomorrow if they wanted to. And of course, that will be if Boris decides to just diverge, which he has said that is what the Conservatives intend to do. We also had Daniel Hannan come out and say that this is a perfect opportunity to finally get rid of workers' rights and other consumer protections that we have taken for granted for so long. Oh, all right. So, yeah, the fishing in Cornwall being stopped as well. In fact, most of fishing around the country has ground to a halt over this. So again, so much happened on Brexit, but I just felt it was so important to talk about what's going on in America, because I think it raises the awareness of, even though we live in a democracy and we like to think that, you know, these democratic norms that, again, we take for granted so much, could, under the right conditions, the right fascist leader could just take away just like that. And I think it's really important that we all take lessons from that, of what happened in America. Because, you know, as I said before, very quickly, very fast, that could have gone from bad to worse in 60 seconds. You know, there were some people who were armed to the teeth. They had zip ties ready to take people captive and hostage. You know, pipe bombs were found, you know. I could have gone very wrong very quickly. So yeah, thank you all for watching today. Wow, over 170 people. Thank you for that. Oh, hang on, we'll try and get a better picture. There you go. I know some of you are just here for the ponies. Some of you come for the revolution, some of you are just here for the ponies. Well, you come for the revolution, but you stay for the ponies. Should we say that instead? Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for everyone joining us today. Thank you for the people who donated today. Sorry I missed out on the second one, but we did get around to reading it. So thank you very much to the people who donated there today. Whoop. Nearly dropped the phone there. Nearly dropped my phone there. So, as always, thank you to the people who do support me. Down below there is a link to my Patreon page. If you'd like to support me and become my Patreon, or there is a one-off donation link called Buy Me a Coffee, where you can, well, buy me a coffee. And again, thank you to the people that do support me on both of those ways. And of course, if you are new, please do hit the subscribe button. And of course, to everyone else, before you leave, please do remember to hit the like and share button on your way out. And thank you very much for joining me today on a somewhat different of a good morning walk. I know we didn't cover Brexit today, but as I said, I just thought it was so important we cover just what went on in America. So important, because there's so many lessons that we all need to learn and take from that. So, as always, thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining us here at the Pony as well. And we'll hopefully see you all soon. See you all next time. Do enjoy your weekend. As always, if you can't be safe, be sensible. Enjoy your weekend. And as always, we'll see you all next time for another Good Morning Walk.